Hello and welcome back to A-Level Geography Explained. In this video, we will be exploring earthquakes. We will look at the three main types of plate boundaries, a diagram of an earthquake, how an earthquake occurs, and finish by briefly looking at some case study examples you could explore further. Let's begin. Let's take a look at the three main types of plate boundary in the most simplistic form. They are divergent, convergent and conservative. For more information on these, please check out my Tectonics 1 video. Firstly, convergent or destructive plate boundaries. Here two plates move together. The most dense plate is subducted and melts into the mantle. They create the most damaging earthquakes as stress builds in the subduction zone. They also create a large proportion of the Earth's active volcanoes and the most explosive types. Conservative plate boundaries are where one plate slides against another. Lithosphere is neither created or destroyed. They create shallow focus earthquakes that can be very destructive. Most importantly, they do not cause volcanic activity. Divergent or constructive plate boundaries are where two plates move apart from each other. This leads to the creation of crust and is most clearly displayed at mid-ocean ridges. They can cause frequent, low-risk seismic activity. They also create rift volcanoes which are usually less explosive and more effusive. Here is a diagram of the anatomy of an earthquake. There are some key terms to know. A fault is a fracture in the rocks that make up the Earth's crust. The epicenter is the point at the surface of the Earth directly above the hypocenter. The hypocenter is the point within the Earth where an earthquake rupture starts. And seismic waves are the waves that transmit the energy released by an earthquake. Now let's take a look at how earthquakes form. First, tectonic strain builds gradually, which stores elastic energy in crustal rocks. Then the brittle crust rebounds either side of the fracture, which is the ground shaking. When the pressure exceeds the strength of the fault, the rock fractures. This produces the sudden release of energy, creating seismic waves that radiate away from the point of fracture. Now I will briefly introduce some case studies relevant to earthquakes. The Haiti earthquake took place in 2010 and is an example of a disaster in a low-income country. It occurred on a conservative plate boundary between the Caribbean plate and North American plate. There were over 230,000 deaths and 300,000 people were injured. Long-term homelessness and poverty worsened, and the United Nations and non-governmental organizations provided emergency aid, rescue teams, and temporary shelters. The Japan earthquake and tsunami of 2011 occurred on a destructive plate boundary where the Pacific plate subducts beneath the North American plate. A huge undersea megathrust quake caused a massive tsunami. There were economic costs of over $235 billion, meaning that this was the most expensive natural disaster ever. There were energy shortages due to nuclear plant shutdowns. The Nepal earthquake of 2015 is another low-income country example. It happened on a destructive plate boundary between the Indian plate and Eurasian plate. It had a shallow focus, just 15 kilometers deep, making it more destructive. A full summary video is linked below. The Christchurch earthquake of 2011 is a high-income country example. It happened on a conservative boundary between the Pacific plate and Australian plate. A shallow focus made it more destructive despite the lower magnitude. A full summary video is linked below. I hope this video helped your revision. Please subscribe and check out more of my revision videos. Goodbye.